When you try to explain things to other people, sometimes I try to tell people, like, imagine that you're touching and feeling this couch. You're seeing this couch. Like, you could even, I mean, people don't usually smell couches, but you could like smell the fabric of the couch. And then someone walks up to you and tells you that you're sitting on a log. And you're like, no, I'm sitting on a couch. Like, it's right here. I can see it, I can feel it. You know, I can hear the fabric being scratched. And then someone says, no, dude, you're definitely sitting on a log. And that's what it's like, especially when hallucinations and delusions are mixed together.
Bradley Tarr experiences the world in a unique way. Since the age of 11, Bradley has suffered from mental health issues and insomnia. Diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolarism, Bradley shares his story on his mental health diagnosis and his journey of treatment.
My name is Bradley N. Tarr. I am 29 years old. I was born and raised here in Richland County. I have been diagnosed very firmly the past 3.5 to 4 years as being schizoaffective, which means that I have all of the symptoms of bipolarism and all the symptoms of schizophrenia mixed together.
A schizophrenic diagnosis is someone who may struggle with hallucinations, so maybe verbal or auditory hallucinations. Someone who has a mood disorder or bipolar disorder struggles with maybe manic episodes. They could be like hyperactive, not sleeping for days at a time sometimes, having impulsive behaviors. They also can struggle with depressive episodes where they may be sleeping for days at a time, not wanting to get out of bed. A schizoaffective disorder is the combination of those two things. So they're struggling with both those hallucinations or delusions along with the mood disorder symptoms. For Bradley, he was struggling with both of those things, which led him to some of those legal charges. He was having some impulsive type behaviors from his diagnosis. And once I started working with him and we were spending some time together, we were able to kind of connect the pieces and figure out that that was the diagnosis that he was struggling with.
I got counseling services and psychiatric services from Catalyst Life Services, which was then, back then it was called the Center. From the ages of 11 all the way to 26, I was hospitalized like over 20 times altogether. It's not common or ordinary or average for anyone experiencing severe mental illness to have it at 11 years old. When I was 16 was the first time that I experienced like hearing voices that weren't there, seeing things that weren't there, smelling things that weren't there.
Bradley tells us the type of hallucinations and delusions he would often experience, often making reality around him not seem as it really is.
I've had so many different delusions. I have had delusions that I was the director of the NSA, or that I was an MI6 007 agent, or that I was the Secretary of Defense, or that I was a spokesman for the Vatican City-State. And the delusions can be dangerous because when you think that like you're cleared for a mission, you can do something dangerous. There were some times where I thought that literally all the traffic in our entire county was organized in order to make sure that I didn't get hurt. It can get dangerous because you think, oh, traffic can't hurt me, because it's all organized.
Now diagnosed, Bradley began to make progress with the help of Catalyst and his case manager, Dupree Taylor.
I worked with Bradley since 2019, initially as his case manager, but then I also became his assistant outpatient treatment monitor. And what AOT, assistant outpatient treatment, stands for, AOT is basically where we meet at the court, probate court, and basically talk about the client's participation services and things like that. So, and as his case manager, I connected him to things in the community, make sure that he got to his doctor's appointments if he needed, transportation and things like that. I helped him get those things set up.
For Bradley, once he was able to clarify what was going on with him, we were able to then start talking about what skills he could start using to help.
What I always try to drive home to people about assisted outpatient treatment, AOT, is that it is a holistic approach, that you see the whole person and you see their dignity and you see their worth as a person, and you try to take everything that they are as a person and make their life easier and make their life better. It's very rehabilitative in the full sense of that word.
With the help of Catalyst, the church, his family, and his own hard work, Bradley was able to improve his life and, in his own words, able to save his life.
From an AOT perspective and from a treatment perspective, I am a success story, but I also tell people you're not a failure because you have to visit the hospital again. You're not a problem, you are experiencing a problem. That's what I love about AOT and about my experience with AOT and Catalyst, is that I was not seen as a problem or as a burden or as something to be fixed. I was seen as someone, a person with real dignity that needs help.
With mental health things, people have a certain, maybe some people have a stigma or bias or a belief about things, and Bradley kind of helped me understand that these things aren't, the way that they appear, and and to stand up for him and speak for him and advocate for him has been a joy to me. And just seeing how he's taken off from that, he'll steal the show. And it's like, I'm proud to work with him because of that. Like, hey, I know that guy, and now everybody knows him, so it's been pretty fun.
We've graduated him successfully from the team because he has come so far and he has met the goals that he needed to for the team. He's moved from a stage of change that he wasn't quite sure of what was going on or what he needed to this maintenance stage that he's able to do very well in the community, and now he's helping others.
Like, there's been many successes, but the first real success is, Bradley was the first, assistant outpatient treatment client to graduate from the program. And as he proudly says, he was the last official act of, Judge Mayer graduating him. That's something that's a success. It's something that both he and I are very proud of that he did. The second major success would be, just seeing how Bradley's taken off from, getting better, getting stable, but then taking that to another level of actually training, first responders and that in the community through CIT and the other things that he does. So Bradley's kind of blossomed into his own entity as far as, training others and breaking the stigma of, mental health issues and that. And he's starting to go, nationwide, and I see it going global. There's a lot of successes that Bradley, that this whole AOT has spawned, and I'm happy to see his growth.
I would encourage anybody in the Mansfield area who's experiencing severe mental illness or mental illness symptoms to contact Catalyst, because they've greatly helped me. I mean, I can say this with a straight face, that if it weren't for the center, if it weren't for Catalyst Life Services, I would probably not be here.